Hey everyone. You know the drill. Gonna give it a couple moments just for you all to be notified that day 4 is ready. So when you come in, just give me a hey. And we'll get started. Awesome. Great. Hi Anna. Hope you're doing well. All right, guys, so here we are, week 1, day 4. Tomorrow is our final day for the first week. Really crazy. It's going by super fast, like always. Day 1, 2, and 3 are up for you to watch through if you haven't already, if you've missed those days. Hey, Megs. Good. Awesome. We're all here. Cool. Okay. So if you've missed those days, please go back and rewatch them. However, you can definitely still enjoy today if you have yet to see the other videos. Just to put it in a nutshell, day 1, we spoke about what exactly the subconscious mind is. I helped you to understand how it works with the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. And then on day 2, we talked about proof of these various mental healings, and literally what it all comes down to is that there is really nobody doing the healing. It's the person having that strong belief in the healing that is what creates the healing process, or creates the shift in the subconscious mind, which creates this huge shift in your reality. Then we had day 3. Hey, Jen. Day 3, we went through different types of healings. That was just kind of like the framework of what we are going to be going through in weeks 3 and 4. And I invited you to also begin to play with each and every one of those, because I am a big believer in you finding what works for you, never doing something just because it's what I do or because it's what I say. You need to find what feels the best to you and your unique energy. And now today, we're really just going to begin to get into all of the work. Today, we're going to be working through forgiveness and just breaking up with society, right? Like, it's time to put those blinders on and just begin to create your life and use the power of your subconscious mind for your highest good, for the highest good of your loved ones, for the highest good of this world, for humanity, and just putting those blinders on to anything and everything that we've pretty much been taught from society or from family or from teachers, right? We just need to drop these struggle, hustle, suffering stories and just remember who we are and why we're here. Like, I am such a big believer in the fact that, like, we come into these human bodies to experience what it's like to turn thoughts into things and to create our reality and enjoy Earth, enjoy the beauty of Earth, and even creating the idea of heaven on earth, that it can be here right now. It's not something that we need to be going out and getting, going out and searching for. It literally is right here. It's in your heart, it's in your mind, it's in your body, it's in this vessel that you are in. And it's all about, like, are you able and ready and capable of turning that on, of experiencing it? And yes, you 100% are capable. So what we need to do, though, is, because, like, through this process, we can start to get really ticked off towards family or teachers or society in general for just, like, teaching us these really old, outdated ways of being, like the Newtonian laws, pretty much, of just working hard, work hard, play later, things like that, like pain, no gain, whatever the heck the various phrases are that makes us feel that we need to be, like, in this struggle, hustle, and even suffering mode, right? So we can begin to get really upset for who taught us these things, and because it's been really, like, just hammered into our minds that this is what we think that life needs to look like, but it's not. It really isn't. And so finding the forgiveness there. And I really invite you to take this lightly. And now I understand that there could be some traumas and mental abuse that has gone into this. And obviously that is a much deeper wound, and something that I work really heavily in one-on-one opportunities, and in the membership. But for the most part, I want you to really remember that everybody's always just been doing their best, right? Like, I'm a firm believer in this, that we're all just doing the absolute best that we can with what we know, with what we've been taught, you know? So just go into this with kind of like with an open heart and with the intention to forgive, release, let go, move on. And now, like I said, if there's something deeper that's really in there, I invite you to either reach out to me or to a therapist or whatever may work for you, okay? I did just add to my services. I've been getting a lot of messages about just offering one-time calls, just kind of like when they're needed, when you want them. And so I added that to my list of services now. So I have the membership, I have the one-on-one coaching container that's for 12 or 36 sessions, or now you can just purchase individual sessions. They're called subconscious tune-ups. So when I put that link below for scheduling calls, it's now one of the options. So if you want to schedule one of those, they're 2 hours long. They're going to be really fun. Okay. And thank you to all who has been reaching out and requesting these and helping me take that next step. Okay. So first thing first, I want you to think about your language that you use, your beliefs that you have. Are you somebody who, and you can let me know, like give me one of those emojis with the arms up, or, just say me or whatever, but somebody who feels like you have to get your work done first and then later you'll play? Do you feel like you have to work really hard in order to find success? Work really hard, search outwardly for, to find love, to find acceptance, to fit in? Do you feel like, it's the whole story of like no pain, no gain? Are you still operating in those systems? It's okay. It's okay if you are, because I've been there for a very, very long time. This whole idea of really struggling, pushing, forcing, and it just led me to complete burnout, And the thing is that it doesn't have to be so difficult. It doesn't have to be this intense, rigid thing. And now I understand, like, if you work in an office, obviously your time might look a little bit different, because you may not be able to go out and like do whatever you want to do when you're at the office, right? But we can release as much as possible, release these stories. Like for example, even if you're at home and one of the things on your list for that day is to get your laundry done and clean your house, but you know so bad that you're just like craving to get outside, that you just really want to go outside and read a book or go on a hike or go hang out with some friends. But like all you can think about is, but I have to get this done first, but I don't want to. I really just don't want to. What if you allowed yourself to release the have-tos and the struggles as much as you possibly could, and you allowed yourself to go play first? You allowed yourself to just enjoy life first. And then you came back to clean your home and get the laundry done. Your vibration and your attitude with it is going to be so much different. And maybe that means that it even gets pushed to the next day. But that's okay, right? Like, it doesn't have to be such a strict, rigid structure. So as much as you possibly can, and again, like this is, like I want to give as many examples as possible so that you can use it when it's an allowance for you, to just drop the strictness, drop the rigidness of it all, and really, as much as you possibly can, put play in the forefront, put your enjoyment, your fulfillment in the forefront of it all, okay? It doesn't need to be work now, play later, working harder, working longer. It doesn't need to be any of that. It can be play now and work later, okay? The shift is huge. Also too, like, so really paying attention to the language that you have most days. So I gave a couple examples yesterday about this as well. But so just to take it back to that first day about the conscious mind being the captain of the ship, sending all the orders to the crew, which is the subconscious mind working to carry it out, working to make it come true. So in saying that, if your conscious mind is constantly telling your subconscious mind that you don't have enough time, that you don't have enough money, that you're always tired, you're never going to find love, whatever it may be, your subconscious mind is working very hard to make this true. And so this can be as much as like shifting your daily language from the moment you wake up in the morning to the moment you go to sleep. How are you speaking to yourself? What is that narrative that's going on in your mind all the time? And this can go along with just like your daily life, right? So when you wake up in the morning, what is your first thought? Is it, oh my God, I didn't get enough sleep. I'm so tired. I have so much to do today. And immediately going into that fight or flight mode and the stressed out mode. Immediately stepping into the day kind of with like that shallow breath and that intensity, tightness in the body. Or can you open your eyes with a deep breath and a deep gratitude for that comfortable bed, for the warm blankets, for the sleep that you did receive? Can you place your feet on the ground and just feel that joy of being alive, of having another day? When you go downstairs or go into your kitchen to drink your water, make your coffee, make your tea, whatever it is, can you be expressing gratitude for the drinking water that you have that comes right out of your faucet? Can you have gratitude for the abundance of coffee beans that you have, the abundance of tea bags, just the beautiful morning, right? When you're doing the laundry, even instead of freaking out about how much laundry you have, can you shift the perspective to being like, oh my gosh, I have such an abundance of clothes. I have such an abundance of towels. And it's such a simple shift in words, but it creates a huge difference in your frequencies and vibrations. And for the first couple days, it may sound silly. However, you're going to notice that the momentum gets going and it begins to pick up, and just the synchronicities and the joy and the freedom and the everything that kind of like just begins to feel like it just falls into your lap. It's happening because your subconscious mind is changing. It's working hard to now make your reality of gratitude, of abundance, of joy, of presence, of just like complete pleasure. It's working to make that more of your reality. So just begin to pay attention to your language and to shift from your normal unconscious patterns and thoughts and bring it into a more high vibrational thought and feeling by shifting from not enough and the complaining to gratitude, abundance, joy in this present moment. It's so beautiful. And when you catch yourself slipping out of that, it's okay. Just bring it back. Bring it back to that gratitude and abundance. There's no point to be hard on yourself. There's no point in that at all. Life is all about like forgetting and remembering. And this whole journey is forgetting and remembering. You're going to be on a roll with it, feeling really great. And then like something's going to happen where it just kind of throws you off your feet, and then you might spend a couple days in a lower vibration, and that's okay. You'll remember when you're ready, you'll come back. And the more that this is a habit, the more it's going to become, it's like your natural way of being, that even when things do throw you for a loop, kind of knock you off your feet, you're still going to be able to maintain the sense of gratitude and abundance and joy. Okay. And in saying that too, I want to add in here as well with paying attention to your language is how often do you tell yourself that you can't do something, or it's going to be too hard, it's going to take you forever to get there, there's no point, whatever the story may be. Just simply reminding yourself that anything is possible through the power of your subconscious mind. We said that together over and over again the first couple days of this program, but just continue to remember that anything is possible through the power of your subconscious mind. And that it can just be a simple shift in your vibration, again, from going from I can't do it, it's impossible, that'll never happen, to anything is possible through the power of my subconscious mind. It just feels better. It really does. All right. So, and with that, let's talk about breaking up with society as well. So I'm not telling you to put on blinders and completely ignore life and what's happening around you. I think it's important to an extent, stay up to date with what's happening around you. And what's going on in your community and in our world and in our government and all that good stuff, right? But I do want you to pay attention to what realities are you no longer desiring to live in. And this is really tied in with social media. How often do we catch ourselves mindlessly scrolling? And no shame at all. I do it all the time. But when we're mindlessly scrolling and then we get into people's comments and we get into people's arguments, especially right now, oh my goodness, there's so much arguments and so much hatred happening right now, especially on social media. And just like asking yourself, like, is this the reality I want to be living in? Like, do I want to be participating in this? Is this good for my vibration, my frequency? Is this good for, is this aligning with what I am desiring to have and to be in my life? And more than likely, it's a no. And just absorbing all the arguments and the name calling and all of that, it's going to really lower your vibration. And now if you are, if you're an activist for anything, go for it, right? Like, I'm a huge activist. Like, I really deeply believe in it. And especially like just really fighting for what you believe in. But pay attention to the realities. Don't just continue to give your power away to everybody, to anything and anyone, right? Like, just I think choose your arguments wisely. Choose what you are taking in wisely, and just really break up with the stories of society that you're no longer desiring to vibrate in. And again, you're going to notice it just is so much easier to continue to elevate higher, to live in that gratitude, live in presence, live in abundance, live in love. All right, so now I just want to get into, and if at any time there is any questions here, please as always drop them below. I would absolutely love to get into them and offer guidance with them. All right, so now let's talk about the forgiveness of self and others. So at the beginning of the video, I asked you to please drop the harshness of this, because like I said, I think that we're all just really trying to do our best. But a big part of this is forgiving, releasing, and moving on. And so one of my most favorite practices, this is something that I give to my clients, usually on one of our first sessions together, is to create a timeline. And on this timeline, so you can actually do this with me if you want right now. You'll obviously need to take a little bit of time off video to complete it, but you're going to want to have a piece of paper and take it long ways like so. And on that paper, across the middle of the page, I just want you to draw a straight line all the way across. And now, depending on your life and all that, you may need more than one paper. You may need to use both sides, whatever it is. Okay, just draw that line straight down the middle. And we've all made timelines in school, right? So what I want you to do is on the bottom line, well, underneath this line, I want you to go back as far as you possibly can, like to the first memory, if you can, of any time someone, and perhaps it was you, has made you feel like you can't do something, that you're not good enough, that you're not capable, or even hammered like these beliefs into your mind that in order to have anything good, in order to experience good, in order to be abundant, you have to work really, really hard, that you have to kind of suffer and push and struggle, okay? So again, this might and probably will take some time because you're going to go all the way from your earliest memory to present day. And I mean, to present day, it might even been like right before you started watching this video that you told yourself something that wasn't beneficial, or somebody told you something that you couldn't do something, okay? So all the way to present day, writing that out. And then once you're finished with that, I want you to then go on the top line and begin to write to yourself what you needed to hear instead. What is the truth, right? So what I mean by this is if somebody told you, so say for example, I guess like the first day of kindergarten, and I don't know, so this is just like super random. So I'm always like, I'm pretty bad at this, but your first day of kindergarten, and you go to pick out a book, and the teacher says, no, you don't know how to read yet. It's going to be really hard and going to take a lot of practice and a lot of work. And so then that made you feel like really scared about learning how to read. And it just put this feeling in your mind that reading was not going to be fun and it was going to be really hard. And so maybe that really stuck with you, right? And so above that, on that top line, you'd want to write whatever it is that you needed to hear instead of like, oh, that is a great book choice. You're going to have so much fun learning how to read because you are capable of anything. Okay? So I know that's kind of like a silly example, but these stories get so programmed in our subconscious mind, and we're living out these unconscious habits day in and day out. And it's exactly why we can't seem to break out of this day to day. No matter how many self-help books you read, no matter how many yoga classes you go to, teachers that you have, whatever it may be, it's really hard. You feel like it's really hard to get out of the same old that you're just so tired of living. It's because these programs and these stories have been deeply seated inside of us, and we need to go back and experience them and tell ourselves what it is that we needed instead. Because what we needed instead is the truth, right? Like saying like things are hard and it's going to be really hard. Like that's not exactly true. To me, the only thing that's real is love. So if it's fear-based, if it's struggle-based, if it's pressure-based, it's just not real. It doesn't need to be our reality. Your reality can be anything that you desire it to be. And if you want to really begin to put all of your belief in a reality of love and that gratitude and that abundance and in that joy, it's beautiful. It's so beautiful. So once you're finished, then writing out everything that is that you needed to hear, I want you to then take all the things that you needed to hear and write yourself a letter. And this letter it doesn't have to be word for word of all the things that you wish you would have experienced and heard instead. You can use some of them, you can use all of them. This is your practice. But I want you to just tell yourself how capable you are, how worthy you are, how loved you are, how just the embodiment of love that you already are, and that you can do anything and be anything and have anything. I just want you to write yourself the most beautiful, uplifting, positive, supportive letter possible. And then with that letter, you can either just like put it somewhere or you can read it to yourself on a daily basis, at least for the duration of this free program. Or you can even record it on like your voice memos on your phone, and you can listen to it every day. Maybe listening to it or reading it several times a day, especially when you're feeling down or when you're not feeling capable, when you're not feeling worthy and you're having those doubts. But even if you're not having those doubts, I suggest that you listen to it or read it every single day, because again, like that is what that's your conscious mind delivering those messages to your subconscious, and your subconscious is going to be working real hard to make those things a reality for you. Okay? All right. Any questions? I will give it a couple moments to see if you want to throw anything out there. If you need help with this timeline or this letter writing, please reach out, ask any questions that may be needed. And like I said, I'm going to put down below my links if you want to schedule a connection call to hear more about my Breathe and Receive membership or my one-on-one coaching that is starting in September, Call Back Your Power. Or also you can even use that scheduling link to schedule a 2-hour subconscious tune-up with me. So you're so welcome, Jen. All right, I will see you guys tomorrow at 1 o'clock. I think I went that earlier. I don't know. Let's just keep it at 1. See you tomorrow at 1 o'clock. And tomorrow is an embodiment meditation. So it's going to be really good. It's one of my favorites. Oh. Does the timeline work if you can't remember memories? Yeah, I mean, just go back as far as you can, even if it's only within this past month. I mean, I'm sure that there are many stories even that you've told yourself within this last month, even because we're just human, especially being human before being aware of this kind of work, that there's probably many stories, many beliefs. So yeah, just go back as far back as you possibly can, okay? All right. And also too, if you just really can't, if you're having a hard time going back at all, just write yourself that letter, right? Like, you know what you need to hear. You know that you need to hear how capable and loved and supported you are. Okay. Yes, you're so welcome. Okay. All right, everybody. Loving this challenge very much. Thank you so much for showing up and being a part of this, and just really having those 2 feet in all the way. So see you tomorrow at 1 o'clock for an embodiment meditation. All right. Bye.